Good morning, dear Kenyans. This is another beautiful morning, a day to remind you that football is our business. The elderly, kids, youths, women, and men of this beautiful country called Kenya. As you all know, for a very long time, majority of Kenyans have never understood the economic part of football, but they've just remained knowing that football is just for recreational purposes, and that has made football corrupt elite to continue looting because there is no Kenyan out there who is willing to hold them accountable by auditing how they spend the monies they get from FIFA, from CAF, from government, from sponsors, and even from well-wishers. I, Peter Maina Mwangi, as from last year September, I've been posting videos exposing how corrupt those leaders are and how much they pocket for themselves, not forgetting how teams suffer, how players suffer, and even how families of the footballers suffer. And in this regard, I'm reminding Kenyans that this is the month for elections, as Football Kenya Federation stated. The beginning of this week at Kempiski, Football Kenya Federation gave us the electoral board that will be conducting the elections. But remember, for elections to be credible, they should be handled by an independent commission. And the only independent commission, it's IEBC. But we haven't seen the involvement in this election that they want to conduct. And in that regard, I read malice. It's as if they're playing games with Kenyans' lives to make sure the corrupt people are coming back to our football. And in this regard, I'm telling Kenyans, football is our business, and we have a responsibility on that D-Day that they'll say we'll be having the elections. Wherever you are, any part of the country you are, and this one I'm talking to the youths, mostly to the youths, because they're the ones who are fully involved in playing football. That day that they'll announce the elections to be conducted, make sure you man and guard those polling stations. Make sure you guard and man those polling stations. Why am I saying so? For 8 years, we've not seen any progress economically in terms of football in this country. Players are broke, coaches are broke, anyone involved in the game is broke, but there's only few rich people, and those are the Football Kenya Federation officials. In fact, they think that's their personal home. They lecture teams. Just like the other day, Oush, a NEC member, a cartel, someone we want to see him out of our football completely. It's that man called Oush. Imagine lecturing teams, telling them it's them, the delegates, that will decide whether Hussein wins or not. So my question was, since when did people we elected to represent us lecture us, the shareholders? It should be vice versa. Any FKF officials should sit down and listen to the shareholders. And who are the shareholders of football? The players, the coaches, club owners, the fans, the government. Like, everybody who plays a role in this game is a shareholder. So this time round, we want to change the narrative. The shareholders must be respected. Their will must be respected. And we are telling the electoral board that's there in place, remember, you have to make a choice. To let our youths continue perishing in prisons, to be killed, to be maimed, yet they have talent, or you help the nation to wipe out corruption. Because I wonder, where do these people get the good conduct to vie for office? People have squandered resources. People have stolen public money. Football money is public money, it's not personal money. Money meant for development of youths, kids. Money meant to develop the physios, the coaches, the instructors. But all that eaten by a few rogue individuals under Nick Mwendwa, together with the Nairobi office, with the SG Dickson Doyo, Wakili, and the mafia cartel, the football mafia cartel, Oush. But this time round, we want change. And change is never given. I've never seen any day an oppressor allowed the oppressed to enjoy his or her freedom. So in this regard, we are determined to make sure no rogue official is coming back close to our football. They have to go as far as possible, and if possible, we want to take them to court of law, and they should answer how they've spent billions of Kenyans' money meant for development for the last 8 years. We not only want them to go home, but we want them to go to jail, to feel how players feel when football can't pay them, and what they can do best is to engage themselves in crime. We have so many talented players in prison. Most talented players, 6 feet under. Most talented footballers in hospital, maimed, survived mob justice. It's the statistics that is out there. But this time round, we've suffered enough as youths of this nation, and we are not giving any other chance to rogue officials to continue looting. Youths of this country, remember, in countries where corruption is the order of the day, football serves as a source of hope. Because no matter what, FIFA keeps sending money and CAF to support the football itself. So now, as youths of this nation, nothing is working out. No jobs. Jobs are collapsing. No hope totally. So the only hope we have is to make sure we take care of our football industry. Why am I saying so? If one player makes it at the highest level, that's maybe playing in Europe, he or she creates employment to a lot of people. So you can imagine, if you have a workable football Kenya Federation whose interest is to see Kenyan football grow, how many pros will we have? So many. How many people will they employ? So many. But as it stands now, football has just been reduced to be a very, very, very small and personal entity. And that's what we are fighting. The cartelism in football has killed Kenyan football, and it's at its knees. So as I speak today, I'm in Machakos County. I promise to be touring county to county, doing these civic educations to teams, to parents, to all community members, and try and create awareness about how much is invested in football and how best we can make sure that money trickles down to the grassroots for people to earn a living from the sport they love. So as I continue doing these civic, economic, football educations, keep calling me. Call me to your county. Tell me the day you want me to be there. I come, we do football mathematics, and we ask ourselves, is football helping us, or is it us helping football? Because it should be vice versa. Football should help us. Football should pay us. Football should empower us. Football should give us cars, houses, good life. That's all I know about football. I've seen it happening in West Africa. Countries are so poor, no infrastructure, no nothing. But how many pros do they have out there? So many. And those pros can see the job they are doing back in their countries. Let me just use a simple example in Kenya. We have Michael Olunga, who is playing in Qatar, our Kenya captain. Yeah, a fantastic man. You've seen what is done with Michael Olunga Foundation Academy in Homa Bay. You know, he's employed coaches, physio, videographers, driver, security men, the players themselves. You know, the list is endless. And he'll continue doing that for so many years. He will employ more and more and more and more. That's only one player. You can see what the Wanyamas have done in Busia. Invested more than 2 billion in a project that will make sure Kenya's best talents have a place to school and play football and be trained by the most football educated people, and with an idea of incorporating science in in the academy, just to make sure you produce players that fit the European market and can earn a living from the game. Those are only two examples I've given out. But now I want you to imagine if we had an environment whereby if you believe you want to be a pro footballer, then the dream is valid. So how many of such initiatives would we be having spread across our country? Because all these footballers, they come from different counties. Some from Nakuru County, Nairobi County, Marsabit County, Isiolo County. You see? Just by making sure our football is working out and money is trickling down the way it should, now you can see how many people we can create employment to. But as it stands, it's only a game for the few. People who've never even played football. Where did Dixon Doyle play football? Who know him? Where did Dibari Otieno play football? Who know him? Where did Nick play football? Who know him? Where did Wakili play football? Who know him? Do they even know the pain that footballers go through? Have they ever gotten a very serious injury and dropped from a club and know how it feels to be dropped while you have an injury? Considering even when you are fit, they weren't paying you. Now that you are injured and isolated, you can imagine how difficult life becomes. So that's what we are fighting. We don't have personal beef with anyone, no. We just have problem with the problems Football Kenya Federation has created for us. And the only way we can solve them is by making sure every Kenyan, wherever he or she is, gets to understand football is business and football needs good leadership. And when I say about good leadership, I mean someone of Hussein Mohammed caliber, someone who've run extreme sports company for so many years, and we can tell you go there on all social media and find the job he was doing, or engage anyone who has previously participated in Extreme League and ask him or her how teams were surviving in that league economically. Yeah, teams used to play for free in Extreme Leagues. Teams used to be supported financially each month. No, teams used to be supported with merchandise. And when the league concludes, teams used to be assembled at a prestigious hotel to award them, to award most outstanding footballers, to award most outstanding coaches. And on top of that trophy, there was money token. In fact, good money token that you can do something with. But the federation fought him right, left, and even revoked his license, because they knew he is a threat. He's a working man. He's a man on a mission. He's a man who believes footballers in this country should live their dream through football. But this time round, he's come guns blazing. They tried to fight him, saying he doesn't own a club. But due to public demand and our voices and everyone's voices out there, we voiced against their plans to make sure he's not on the ballot. They agreed he's part and parcel of Moranga Seal ownership. And now He's on that ballot. But still, they're fighting him. They're finding ways they'll bring people who are corrupt, who can make sure he's not clinching the seat. But that one won't be possible in this nation. Youths of this country, wherever you are, this is your only chance. This is your only chance of making sure we fix our football problem or we throw the game to the dogs once again. Hold your leaders accountable. Hold your coach accountable. Hold your captain accountable. Tell him directly on his face that this time round, if you go in there thinking that this club it's yours, then you go in there and vote the wrong way, then you'll have to bring your kids to play for that team. It's time footballers know, no matter the club you're playing for, even if you're playing for Gor Mahia, Tusker, AFC, Kariobangi Sharks, or any other club, you have a voice. You are not just an employee of that club, but you are a shareholder in this game, because without you players, then there's no football. So tell your football heads to choose between taking 1,000 shillings and drinking tea and samosa at 680 or Safari Park and betray the game for the next 4 years, or vote wisely by voting Hussein Mohammed and enjoy the fruit of workable football systems. So let's come together in solidarity with Hussein Mohammed. He's a man of action. He's done his bit. We've seen what he's been doing. And let's tell the electoral board on their face, the only president we want in football is none other but Hussein Mohammed. I, Peter Maina Mwangi, as a youth representative aspirant Football Kenya Federation 2024, I promise the youths of this nation that if you fully rally behind Hussein Mohammed and he ascends to power, I'll always represent your grievances and make sure he understands that the youth of this nation rallied behind him regardless of having votes to vote for him. I'll always remind him the task ahead of us is bigger than us. Because as leaders, we have a responsibility of restoring dignity to our game, of making sure players, coaches, referees, anyone who is involved in the game, wherever he or she is, whenever he or she stands and talk about his or her career, he or she can be respected. No one respects footballers. No one respects referees. No one respects physios. We are just viewed as jokers in the society. Yeah. Even your neighbors wonder, why should you rise so early, go play football? Like, is it a job? Does it pay? And it pains. Mostly when your landlord watches you play on TV, also reads you in a newspaper, yet you can't pay rent. You understand? Yet you can't pay your rent. You can't pay school fees for your kids. You can't have a proper medical care for your family. And yet you are a footballer. It's shameful. It's shameful. Nick Mwendwa, You've messed our game, and please, 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 it's time you pack and go. Together with all the people you've been working with, you just pack your belongings with your CEO Barry and Nairobi office and other offices of FKF countrywide. You just pack your bags and leave, because this time round we don't care the election results. For as long as it's a thief who is ascending to power, we shall reject. And you shall see a protest you've never seen in this country. You shall see a protest you've never seen in this country. Kandanda House, it's our business. Kandanda House, it's our office. And Kandanda House should be occupied by people who have integrity. People who love this country, not thieves like you people. And in that regard, I continue touring. Today I'm in Machakos County, and you'll see me in different places with teams, with fans, with all walks of people having these engagements. And I urge you to continue supporting me by fueling the motorbike that I use to be able to reach to more Kenyans, and make sure we create awareness about the good side of football and the economic side of football. A fresh start is a must. Reject corrupt FKF officials. Thank you.